how difficult is it for people to change their lifestyle choices, to drink less sugary beverages, to consume less alcohol, eat less fried and oily food, put less salt in their meals, and perhaps even add exercise, exercise more, sleep more, and drink more water? Now, this seems simple, but I want to ask you as a doctor, because I'm sure you've often prescribed this medicine to people. Say, look, what you're suffering from is just a lifestyle choice, so just do this. And do you find that people take those prescriptions as easily as and as readily as if you prescribed medication?
Certainly no.
Not?
And no. It's
free advice, it's free,
yes.
You don't have to go to the pharmacy, just do this, don't do that.
It's very difficult for people to move away from those things.
Now, why is that?
This is an addiction. And then
it's like a drug addiction.
Exactly.
People become addicted
to that, and then moving away from that is very difficult. There are some people, if you prepare soup without
salt,
making it very oily or salty,
salty,
it doesn't taste well in their mouth. So, I mean, it's a gradual process.
It's a gradual thing. You have to start slowly.
So what's
a good way you would advise a 13 to 35-year-old to start to look at everything they eat and make changes? Where?
Well, you come in. for children, I mean, it's a good thing they've started with the children and then catching them very young. With children, once we are able to educate them well, they can easily move away from that, because children, they learn very fast. But the fact is, once we teach the children, they go back home, they don't prepare the food, their parents will prepare the food. And it is my hope that after the first phase, they will move to a second phase, to educate the parents as well. And for this particular program we are doing here is to educate the general public. So, catching them very young is a very good thing, but the general public really need to know. And once they know the risk factors and they have the pictures to show real pictures, these are live things. They see people suffering from that due to the choices they made. And actually the people spoke. I used to do this. I didn't know I would have gotten to this end. So that will keep them
So
off.
this brings a really interesting and I think a very important point to mind. In our conversation so far, we've been repeating the word knowledge. Knowledge. You have to know this, and if you know this, then you can apply it. And if you apply it, then you can get the benefits. But statistics show that 7 out of 10 people do not know that they're actually living with one form of non-communicable disease or another. 7 out of 10. So that means that to a young person in the age bracket of say 13 to 35, what you are saying might not seem as the truth or as reality, because they'll look at you, they'll look at me, they say, well, I've seen these gentlemen, I've seen people around me eating these very foods, living the same lifestyle, and they look fine. Well, they look fine because the symptoms are not showing, and if as many as 7 out of them, 70% of the millions that have these problems in Ghana do not even know that they are living with them and will die suddenly, and then you see what a shock. What does that tell us?
And that is, the other phase. And there's another group of people that are doing this free screening. They're going everywhere alive project. They go everywhere and do free screening. And what we do is we tell the students or the people that are in our documentaries, about 90% of them will tell you that I've never been to the hospital just for checkup. When I'm going, maybe I have headache, and I'll report headache, they give me medication for headache, and I go home. No thorough examination. So now it is time we as people know that medical exam checkups are very, very important. Whether sick or not, in a year at least, you should have one. Because it takes just a year to detect these things, and the doctors will advise you, if the trend at which you are going, you are likely to have this if you don't change that and that and that. So that helps. So we are empowering the younger generation that if you don't start early screening at this age, then you may get something after 35 or so. So it's part of the educational structure that we are doing, that they should go for screening. And this Live Well project is a whole structure that deals with lifestyle, not just non-communicable diseases. It's a lifestyle, total lifestyle change that we are looking forward for, where people will make decisions before they go into things or they get addicted to things. So we partnershiping too with ALWAC. ALWAC is an organization that is into fitness and wellness and all that, and they have a lot of information out there that people would want to use.
Okay, well, we've almost run out of time. The producer is prompting me to wrap up, but I just have one more question I'd like to share with you, Doc, and this is from Boga Ali Hashim, who is asking a question about water. He wants to know if drinking too much water can help in gaining weight or losing weight. And we often hear that you can wash out a lot of toxins and things that are bad for you simply by drinking a lot of water. Is this a fact? Is this a medical scientific truth?
Yes. Drinking water can help wash out your bowels. It will clean up your bowels easily. And then before you eat, you take at least 2 glasses of water.
Before you eat?
Before you eat.
But in Ghana, we drink after we've eaten.
That is why we tend to gain a lot of weight, You take in at least 2 glasses of water just to fill a portion of your stomach.
Before you eat?
Before you eat.
That's interesting. Thank you very much.
You take in the water, then you eat to occupy some parts. And then you feel full. You don't eat so much that part of the food will just be stored as something else for you, and you tend to gain weight, which will be a problem for you later.
Thank you very much, Donatus Chenasi and Dr. Fisa Zakaria. Cassius Otomolabi says he's enjoying the show and he's learning a lot from both of you. He thinks that people between the ages of 19 and 35 just love to show off, and he says we don't want to eat contomere because people might think that we are poor. Okay, that's a really interesting observation, but I have some news for you. It's an established fact. It is well demonstrated, and you can check it very easily, that education and lifestyle changes have a direct result with the reduction or the increase of non-communicable diseases. Countries that have embarked on education and lifestyle change programs have seen a marked reduction of NCDs. And the World Health Organization estimates that 338 million people will die by the year 2020 from NCDs, non-communicable diseases. Knowledge is power when applied properly. Just try to make sure that you're not one of that number of 338. More than 60% of all deaths around the world stem from NCDs, and in Ghana that percentage is rising, and it's your choice that can determine the future. Keep watching Sunrise.